Hey everybody, Dom here. This year, one of the winners of Valve Saxy Awards was called Leak. It featured the Team Fortress 2 mercenaries in a sort of dramatized role of making maps by literally constructing them. In this short, the mercs attempt to fix a problem with a map called a leak. A leak is an actual problem that can occur when making maps for Source Engine games. It's not glamorous and isn't an adventure to fix, but it is interesting nonetheless. Here's a quick explanation of what a leak is. If maps aren't properly made, they can sometimes produce errors. A leak is a kind of error that can occur when compiling a map. Compiling a map is what it's called when converting a map from code in an editor to a file that a game can run. Leak, as a specific error, is what happens when a map isn't properly sealed off. Maps in Source games must be divided between playspace, the inside world, and the void, the black or fog-colored nothingness outside. If a map isn't airtight sealed off from the void, a leak error is produced. There are a few ways to cause a leak. The simplest way is to have a crack between the inside of a map and the outside, like this. Note that two brushes meeting like this is completely fine and doesn't produce a leak. Another way is to accidentally forget something outside of a map, like a prop or a light. It's usually okay if an entity is partially outside of a map, like this tree. As long as its origin is inside the map, there shouldn't be a problem. Another way to produce a leak is to place area portals incorrectly. If they don't separate two areas, they cause leaks. Lastly, a leak can be made by placing any textures with transparency on any of the faces of brushes that separate the inside and outside of a map. There are many ways to spot a leak. The fastest is by reading the text produced by compiling a map. A leak normally announces itself in the text alongside coordinates close to the source of the leak. There are a few problematic consequences to having a map with a leak. In the worst case scenario, the map simply does not work and can't be run. If it does run, the compiler never fully finished, so the map will either be full bright or not have lighting that realistically partially bounces. Another consequence is that the process that divides the map into chunks doesn't happen, and so the map has no culling, and so the entire map will render at once. This is pretty bad in terms of optimization. Anyways, that was the video. If you didn't know already, you now know what a leak is in the context of map making in Source games. Yay! Thanks for watching. Au revoir.